He clothes me from the top of my head, soles of my feet, yeah. Teach me, teach me, show me the way. Hide my face from the wickedness of this world, I pray. Take my hand, protect my heart, hide me in the shadow of your wing. Like a child, see purity in my eyes. Allow me to sit at your feet. Hear me, hear me. Show me your ways, teach me your paths. I'm yielding to your will. Your loving commitment will endow me, surround me in my coming and my going. Cleanse me, purge me. I want to be white as snow, so I may testify of your love to those in search of you. Show me the way. You desire truth, the inward parts you make me know you. Take my hand, casting all my cares, refresh me with the waters of life. Like a child crying softly, forgive me. Allow me to approach your throne. Know me, yeah. Know me. Have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness. According unto the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only, have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you might be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judge. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will
Right. I say, Shalom Shabbat. Shalom Shabbat, boy. That was a struggle, boy. Every time, man. Every time we always have a problem, man. Technical difficulties, but we're gonna prevail and we're gonna continue, man. I say shalom to all Israel, far and near. Shabbat shalom. Uh, as we see the events that's been unfolding in the earth, current events, horrific violence, the genocide of one group of people by a superior power that's claimed to be the oppressed when they're not the oppressed, they're the oppressors. All right, but this is what the European powers do. They oppress the people of the earth and claim that they're the oppressed. Right? They use their justification and their might and power to downtrodden the poor of the earth. Right? And justify to say it's for because they're being threatened to keep their existence going. That's the number one talk and propaganda they always use to justify their evil. But everything has a time period, right? Wickedness and evil has a time period. It has a stamp date, right? And like the old saying, Peter said, what comes around goes around. But the judgment is at hand. So we see that what the so-called Jews in the land of Israel are doing to the Palestinians by virtue and right of the United States government that gives them the carte blanche to do what they're doing. And the other European countries, Britain, and the other nations that help the so-called state of Israel and America, right? And this is a build-up to something else that they have an agenda for, but it gives the Israelis the green light to get rid of the Palestinians, push them off the land, and then go in and take and rebuild the land. First you bombard it, you destroy it, then you come in with your big corporations and your industry and you rebuild the land and you take it over. See, the Gaza Strip, that area of the Gaza Strip and West Bank is a strategic area, right? It would be good for big resorts, for the big companies. Also, too, it will give access to the oil ports for gas that's been found off the Gaza Strip. That will create an oil port for Israel, right? And it will make them more sufficient than depending on the other Arab nations, right? So it's all part of a strategic plan, and it's also part of their plan that they're using to target Iran, right? So today's subject is Iran in the crosshair of America's target? And this is the plan, right? Iran has long time been a rival against the United States. And the reason why it's an old beef, you have to remember that Iran was the Persian Empire, one of the superpowers that ruled the earth prior to America, prior to England, prior to these imposter Jews. The Persian Empire was once a superpower that ruled after the Babylonians were taken down. And the Persian Empire ruled for a little over 200 and something years, from around 536 BC to about 330 something when Alexander the Greek came on the scene and took them down. So they ruled for a little over 200 and something years as a superpower, right? When we read about the Persian Empire, I just want to give me a scripture, Tariq, in our Bible. I want to share something here about the Persian Empire, because Iran today, Iran represents the Persian Empire, and that name, Iran, was changed around 1932, 1935 by Shah Pahlavi. He changed the name of that country from Persia to Iran. All right. So I want to show you how great the Persian Empire was at its height of its rulership. Let's go to the book of Ezra. Ezra, the second chapter in the Bible. No, Ezra in the Bible, not the Apocrypha. Ezra, the first chapter, right? Okay, let me see. Persian Empire. We'll go into a little modern day history about Iran. One second. Matter of fact, that's Esther. I'm sorry, Esther. Incorrectly. The book of Esther. Right? The book of Esther, the first chapter and the first verse. You can read that for me, Tariq. Yeah, the book of Esther.
Sure.
Esther, the first chapter and the first verse.
All right. The book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Assyrius, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 107 provinces.
All right. So when Assyrius, the king, ruled, he ruled from India, okay, all the way to Ethiopia. That's a large mass of land, square miles of land, okay, from India to Ethiopia. And India consists of the area of what you call Sri Lanka, Pakistan, what's the other area? Nepal. Okay, that was all the area of India. So that was all the provinces that the Persian Empire ruled over. Okay, so read that verse again.
Verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Assyrius. This is Assyrius which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 107 provinces.
All right, so he ruled over 127 provinces. So that was the peak of the Persian Empire. Then eventually the Persian Empire fell when the Greeks took over the Persian Empire. All right, and so from that time, the Persian Empire was never a great empire. Once in a while, they had a little flare-ups. They will have little wars and different things, skirmishes. Understand? They will fight against the Arabs at certain points in the time. And at that point, a lot of the people in Persia became Muslim. They adopted the Islamic faith. That's why today Iran is an Islamic state. It's not an Arab country, but it's an Islamic state. Just like Pakistan. Pakistan are not Arabs, but they're an Islamic state. Okay? Sri Lanka. Okay? Parts of Sri Lanka. Part of what's this other area over there? Parts of Nepal, and the other part down there by these people again. They are Bangladesh. Bangladesh. About 100% of Bangladesh is Muslim, but they're not Arabs. They're also from the Indian continent. Okay, and most of them, I should say all of them, practice Islam, but they're not Arabs. Then you have over in Indonesia, where about 98 to 99% of the people is Islamic. That's the largest Islamic population of Muslim that's in a non-Arab world, in Indonesia. Okay, so the Islamic faith was spread all over the face of the earth, even in parts of Europe. They're Islamic. So the Persian Empire became an Islamic state. Now, when that happened, you had, like I said, you had skirmishes and so forth, wars, fights, you know. Parts of India remain either Sikh, Hindu, Buddha, and all sorts of stuff. So in the process of that, while the British was occupying India, the British came up with a plot and an idea to separate India, and they made one part of it Pakistan. And they made Pakistan the Islamic state. And India remained either Sikh, Hindus, or Buddha. All right, Buddhists, all right, or Hindus, whatever they want to call them. So it was an ongoing struggle between India and Pakistan. All right? And today, India and Pakistan still have their little rivalry, but they're all the same people. All right? So this was known as the Persian Empire that encompassed and engulfed all those areas. Okay? Now, when you come down here to modern times now, about Iran, Iran was what you call an independent country, a sovereign country that has, it's a large country, about 636,000 square miles, right? You could put 2 of Texas in Iran with no problem. That's how big Iran is. And you know, Texas is a big state too. Texas is 267,333 square miles, right? So you could put 2 of Texas in Iran and still have plenty of room. So Iran borders Afghanistan and the northeast, and Pakistan and the southeast. Okay, and to the west of it is Iraq. All right, and to the north of it is Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and all these Turkmenistan countries. Okay, and then further up north, Russia. All right, so Iran borders all these major countries. Okay, and most of them are so-called Islamic countries. Now, Iran has large amounts of natural gas and oil. And this was discovered by the British and the Americans. Okay, so the British was up in Iran, running things in Iran. After a while, till the British said, you know what? Iran said, you gotta get the hell out. Because Iran said, we're gonna nationalize our oil, what belongs to us. We're not gonna let the Western powers come in and dictate and control what belongs to that. So from that point, this has been a whole hatred and a target against Iran, because Iran will not allow the Western European powers to control their natural reserves and their oil. And when you don't allow the European powers to control what belongs to you, your resources, it becomes a problem. You're a target. Okay? You forever become a target because they want to steal and take what doesn't belong to them. That's the nature of the wicked. Okay? Whenever you have natural resources that's vital, they want to take it and control it. So Iran said, no, you're not going to nationalize our oil. It belongs to us. So Iran, from that point, have always been in the crosshair of the United States. And that imposter state, which is a military outpost for the United States, to clamp down any resistance of the Arab world against America. Israel is that military outpost. Okay? They get their marching orders from America. And the whole idea of this whole thing is a justification to target Iran. But Iran has what you call proxies in different areas, in Syria, in Hezbollah, in Iraq, in Yemen, all right? And they're there for a reason, to help keep that order and protection in the Arab world. That's their world. They have their right to fight and protect what is theirs. America has no business over there. Neither an imposter Jew, because he came from Germany and Europe. How the hell he's going to come back into somebody's land where he came from Europe all those years he been? Now he's going to get back an automatic seat in a land that doesn't belong to him. And given the justification by all the European powers and the backing. And then you expect there to be peace in a land that doesn't belong to him? You're out of your damn mind. Okay? So that's the main target, is to target Iran. But the way the Most High set the chess move and the chess game, the Most High have it where Iran is going to be backed and supported by who? Yes, by who? Who's Iran's going to be backed and supported by? China and Russia, mainly Russia. The Most High said so strategically, the Most High put a balance to it, Since America wants to be the bully and supply and back Israel, Most High said, okay, I put a challenge for you. I put Russia to support and back Iran. Yes.
Started fighting prior to
It's coming in. It's coming in closer to where the Most High wants to have them dragged into that point. Okay? Yes, Yahweh.
program. President.
Mm-hmm.
And did that. They had Russia.
Of the
Students
mm-hmm.
to go against
Right,
leaders.
the CIA.
And Putin is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he got tired of it. Not gonna. He went
In his jaws and turn it back.
back the other way.
Turn it back the other
He
way.
said, we're not going. America's not. How we run.
That's right.
That's what,
And that's the same thing with Iran. Iran said, no, we're not going to allow that. And that's the right. And all the African nations will do the same thing too. They should say, you Europeans, get the hell out. You're not going to take over and nationalize our natural resources. Yes.
you can't.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You understand? Yes.
Malena also. Malena
Yes.
is rising up.
He's
too on
speaking
that.
against it, yeah. Because all South Africa is going to be joined with Russia too. A lot of African nations going to be joined with Russia too in this confederation. See, the Most High is putting the chess piece in places because this is a global geopolitical war. Okay? Russia is a self-sufficient country. Russia has a lot of oil, but Russia needs allies to sell its oil. Okay? All those countries over there, India, Pakistan, all of them import large amount of oil from Russia and the so-called Middle East. India imports about 90% of their oil from S&P, from Russia. Okay? Pakistan imports their oil from the Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Okay? So all the nations in that area needs the oil. That's the strategic hooks that the Most High is going to put into the nation's mouth. Because everybody's going to be jockeying for position to get control of the oil. When this war intensifies, you know Iran is going to lock off the Strait of Hormuz. And that's going to create a problem. If you can't get oil to fuel your economy is going to go down. Okay? You can't move your trains, your cars, nothing. So everybody needs that oil. That oil is the blood, line, and life to everything in the world. But they dare to protect the oil that's still flowing and coming from the areas for Israel and for those different areas. Remember, they got to protect because Israel doesn't produce oil. They get oil from Nigeria and from Gabon. Okay? They don't get no oil from the Arab countries. So they have to be protected. If they don't have no oil, the economy, everything's going to be shut down. And they need that oil. Okay? So America has the ships there to protect that, the line of importing and exporting and shipping coming in around that area. All right? But when Iran gets fed up and Iran lock off that strait, that's it. Everybody's going to be uptight because the price of oil is going to shoot up. Food, everything is it's going to be a hyperinflation. The stock market is going to go boom. Everything's going it's going to be chaos. Okay? And after, because everybody's after a while going to be linked up with the BRICS. All right? You understand? So this whole thing is going to create a great catastrophe. I see India right now is supporting America bullcrap. But eventually, India is going to have to support the so-called Middle East and back Russia, because India gets most of its oil from Russia. And if Russia say, hey, stop supporting America, we cut you off from oil, India will say, okay, I know, okay, no problem, sir. You know how subservient they are. When the British was there, the British was duking, the British kicked the hell out of their behind. And the British call them a bunch of subjects and coolies. The British dissed them, man. Then Gandhi up there, peace, 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 peace. Then his own Hindu people kill him. Because they said, listen, that's not going to work. You can't talk no peace with the British when they're killing us. You understand? So the British disgraced and humiliated them when they took over and ran India, man. Okay? So everybody's going to have to choose a side eventually when this thing intensifies. So, yes, yeah. Yes. Yes. It's happening, yeah, because Turkey is going to be joined with Russia too. Turkey is going to be joined with Russia. That's another large Islamic country too. You understand? About 100%, maybe 99% of the people over there are Islamic. Okay? So it's a big confederation of the Islamic world and the Arab world. Okay? And Saudi Arabia too, they are like the ass wipe for America. Okay? But eventually, they're going to shift sides too. Okay? But you got to remember too, Saudi Arabia is jockeying for position too. Saudi Arabia is a rich country. And it has a big, strong military too. So everybody in that area is jockeying for position. All right? And if Saudi Arabia could gain more people on their side, they could have a great army and great power to control that region. Understand? Because in Saudi Arabia, America has its base in Saudi Arabia. Okay? There's base in Qatar. All right? There's base over there in Syria and base still in Iraq. All right? But eventually, the tide of this war is going to change. And everybody's going to start to choose sides. And America is going to be the hated side eventually. Because the Most High tells you in the prophecy, he's going to put it in the spirit of the other nations to hate this whore. And they're going to burn this whore with fire. So eventually, everybody's going to start to choose sides eventually. All right? So Tariq, let's read this history, brief history. I want to read a brief history in this book called, read the title, Tariq.
Diplomacy by Deception by Dr. John Coleman.
Okay, now go to page 85 and read that part. Now listen, I want y'all to listen good to this here now. Go ahead.
But by 1951, the nationalistic mood sweeping the Middle East, which had begun in Egypt, where Col Gamal Abdel Nasser was bent on ousting the British from control of the country.
Okay, so that goes right in with in the book of Obadiah, the first chapter, where the Most High said, an ambassador amongst the heathen is sent. That ambassador was Gamal Nasser. In 1951, he rose up in a pan-Arab coalition to chase out the Zionist movement and the European powers from the so-called Middle East. All right? So read that part again.
But by 1951, the nationalistic mood sweeping the Middle East, which had begun in Egypt, where Col Gamal...
It started in Egypt, okay? And that's where Hamas was formed. It was formed from Egypt by the Egyptian Brotherhood, okay? Go ahead.
Where Col Gamal Abdel Nasser was bent on ousting the British from control of the country.
See, they wanted to get the British out from controlling the country, controlling their natural resources, which is the oil. And the Most High blessed the Arab countries with that oil, the children of Ishmael. Okay? And that's a strategic blood life to the whole world. Okay? The whole world runs off that oil. Continue.
Spread to Iran as well. At this time, a genuine Iranian patriot, Dr. Mohammed Masagda emerged to challenge church.
Right. So Mossadegh rose up. All right. He was the leader of Iran during that time. All right. Go ahead.
Emerged to challenge Churchill's puppet government. Mossadegh main thrust was to break the power of the foreign oil companies.
See, his main idea and thrust was to break the main power struggle that the British had over the Iranian oil companies. Because the British was up in there, they was up in Iraq, they was up in there controlling their oil. Imagine that. That's why the Most High said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, he controls everybody's resources. Go ahead.
He judged the mood of the Iranian people as ripe for such a move.
See, he judged it right, and it is right. It's their right to control their own resources, not no foreign country. And that's what all the African nations should do. We're going to control all natural resource. The gold, the diamond, the cobalt, and everything that belongs to us belongs to us. It doesn't belong to the Rhodes. It doesn't belong to the Oppenheimers. It doesn't belong to the De Beers or none of these European powers. And they should kick them out.
That's right.
Get them the hell out.
That's right.
Africa should not be a poor nation. With all that resource and wealth they got, the people catching hell. Over in Niger, the people don't have full electricity, and Niger fuels uranium to all the European countries to get electricity. How the hell you produce uranium and you can't have electricity for your own people in your country, but yet you're giving uranium to fuel all the European countries? That's a damn shame. And them African leaders, the puppets, need to be booted out.
That's right.
And that's what's happening now. All puppet leaders should be booted out. Even amongst our peers in the political arena, they should be booted out. All puppets need to go. Continue.
This deeply alarmed the Rockefellers.
So it deeply alarmed the Rockefellers. These are the murderers and criminals. The Rockefellers. They was up in that area, Iraq, Iran, controlling the oil. Okay, it started with Standard Oil. Then they changed to Exxon. Okay, and they're still there with their different companies. Okay, go ahead.
Who appealed to Britain for help. Mossadegh told Rockefeller and British Petroleum that he would not abide by their concession agreements.
Stop right there. British Petroleum is the name BP. BP. So they got slick and they changed the name from British Petroleum to Beyond Petroleum because they don't want people to know that they're the rulers controlling that oil. Okay? It's still British Petroleum owned and ran by the British. Okay? Go ahead.
And British Petroleum that he would not abide by their concession agreements.
So he didn't agree to their concessions, and that's what they all love to use. Well, we'll make concessions with you in your country. How are you going to make concessions with me in my country for my oil? Yeah, they use military might, trick, and deception, and brute force, and puppet leaders. Okay? It's your puppet leaders that cause that problem. All right? Go ahead.
David Rockefeller is said to have developed a personal hatred of Mossadegh. Because of this, British Petroleum appealed to the British government to put an end to the nuisance Mossadegh was creating.
Right, so they said we're going to put an end to this guy. So what they was going to use now, they was going to use propaganda, infiltration, and topple his government. That's what they love to do. America loves to do that. Now, you want to know why there's a problem in Venezuela? Why the people is coming over the border from Venezuela? Tell me why, and I'll tell you. So they topple Venezuela and kill Chavez. They kill him, and they made Venezuela into a chaotic place. How the hell Venezuela is an oil-producing country? No, it's a poverty-ridden country. Everybody's coming over the border, coming to America. Give me a break. They went in there and they toppled that country and they created a chaotic situation. Now it's a backlash. Now all the people from Venezuela is coming over the border. And that's what you do when you're going to overthrow people's government. Okay, go ahead.
Churchill, eager to comply with the demands of the Seven Sisters oil cartel, made up of the 7 major British and American oil companies in the Middle East.
The 7 major oil companies run by America and Britain. Okay, and eventually I'm going to name those 7 major companies that are still today that has a monopoly and control of the oil. Mobil, Texaco, Aramco, Exxon, BP, Shell, right? Esso is the name they use in Europe for Exxon. That's the name they use in Europe, Esso, right? But Exxon is used over here. These are the major oil companies that's still controlling the oil business around here. When you go to all the gas pumps, look at those names and see who runs it. These same devils. Okay, go ahead.
A talented, well-educated, and astute politician from a wealthy background, Mossadeghd's desire to help the Iranian people.
See, whenever you have a desire to help your people, that's when the problem comes in. That's when they say, no. Once you're willing to help your people and develop your country, they put a stop to it. Just like they did to Gaddafi. Understand? And Chavez. Gaddafi had Libya go. Gaddafi made sure the people in Libya was fed, clothed, electricity, education, money, everything. And no homeless. And he had the people in Libya taken care of. Getting medical benefits, everything. Okay? And they said, nah, we got to hijack Gaddafi, give him a bad name, say he's a terrorist, all right? Propaganda against him, and eventually destroy and topple his country. And who's responsible for that? That clown called Obama. Everybody voted for him, told him, yeah! That Negro toppled Gaddafi. Okay? Our people love so much, oh, our first black president. Okay, that's what you get. All right, continue reading on.
Mossadeghd's desire to help the Iranian people benefit from their national resource was genuine.
See, that's what he wanted to do, to help the Iranian people benefit from their oil that belongs to them. And that's what you're supposed to do as a people. You're supposed to help your people with the natural resources that you have to develop your country and help your people, not to help the damn enemy and the oppressor. All right, go ahead.
In May of 1951, Dr. Mossadegh nationalized Iranian oil.
See, in 1951, he nationalized Iranian oil. Once he did that, that was it for Iran. Iran was on the crosshair. We're going to get you. Okay? We're going to get you. But in the process of that, too, eventually, the United States was still able to befriend Iran to a certain degree, all right? Because eventually what they did, how devilish these people are, they used Iraq to fight against Iran for 8 years, okay? 8 years Iraq was fighting against Iran, and they gassed the people in Iran and the Kurds, and that was backed by the United States using Saddam Hussein, okay? So the only reason why they did that was to weaken Iraq and Iran so they won't be a threat to Israel and to keep access and control of the oil. That's called using deception. By deception, you make war. Okay? And that's the way they always operate. Create wars in country and go in and control the resources, just like they did in Africa. Create the wars with the H.O.D.C and the Tutsi. Remember that war you had back in the 90s when there was a genocide over there? Yeah. It was for the British and the Americans and the other European countries go in and steal the natural resources of Rwanda. Okay? Bunch of criminals, man. and calling somebody a terrorist. Go ahead.
An international advertising campaign was launched against Masagda.
See what is a what?
An international advertising campaign.
An international advertising campaign was raged against Mossadegh. Disinformation, misinformation by the propaganda machine of the CIA, the MI6. All right, go ahead.
Who was depicted as silly little man.
See, they depicted him as a silly man. That's what they do, man. Once you have control of the media, you have control of the minds of the people. You can mold the people to your benefits, to what you want them to believe. It's called social engineering. You understand? That media plays a tremendous power, man. All right, it's powerful. Go ahead.
Running around Tehran in his pajamas.
So they say, here you go, this man ran around in Tehran in his pajamas. It wasn't a pajama, it's a certain outfit that the people in Iran wear. So they call it a pajama to make mockery of him. That's what they do. You understand? They make mockery of you. Call you monkeys, uncivilized, buffoons. Okay? They make mockery of every nation that's not white. All right? And that term, gooks, it didn't just start from Vietnam and Korea. When the Americans went down to Haiti in the 1915s and overthrew Haiti, they were calling the people in Haiti gooks. And they took that when they went over to Vietnam and Korea. Okay? That's the hatred that they have for non-white nations. And that's embedded in their friggin' DNA. They ain't gonna change. That's in them. All right? Continue.
Emerged in emotion. This was far from the truth. Led by the Rockefeller oil companies.
See? Led by the Rockefeller oil companies. The Rockefellers, they have big pull. Okay? Rockefellers, man, the Rothschilds, and these big elite families, they have a lot of power. These oligarchs, go ahead.
And backed by the U.S. State Department.
See? And backed by the U.S. State Department. Wherever British is involved, the United States is right there behind following the British, giving support to the British. The U.S. State Department. Go ahead.
An international boycott of Iranian oil was ordered. Iranian oil soon became unsellable. The State Department declared its support for Churchill's puppet government in Tehran.
See, now the United States went to support the British. Always supporting the oppressor. Never support the oppressed people, but always on the side of the oppressor. Just like Vietnam. America went in to oppress the people of Vietnam, and they went on the side of the oppressor, which was the French. They went to the aid of the French to oppress the people in Vietnam. Go ahead.
Which was installed when the Shah refused to join the Allies in the war against Germany. At the same time, the CIA and the M16 launched a joint operation against Masagda.
Right, not M16, but the MI6. Right, the MI6. The CIA and the MI6. Read it again.
At the same time, the CIA and MI6 launched a joint operation against Masagda.
See, a joint operation. And that's what they do all the time for nations that don't comply and go along with their nonsense. They form a joint operation of the CIA and MI6. Go ahead.
It was codenamed Operation Ajax.
See, and they always have these code names. Operation Ajax. You know, Ajax is what? Ajax is what? A cleaning agent. So what they're saying, we're going to clean out, clean house. Bunch of devils, man. That's why they got their day coming, man. They got it coming, man. Okay? Yeah, Howard up.
They say when they
Acronyms and so forth.
yeah, when all of helps them more viciously.
And to dehumanize the people more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bunch of devils, man. All right? And they're doing the same thing in Palestine today, too. Israel right now turned off the internet because they're moving in with the invasion. So they don't want the people to record what's going on and people to see what's happening. Okay? Go ahead.
What followed was a classic example of how governments are subverted and toppled through diplomacy by deception. Churchill, who had lost the election after the war ended, was returned to power by a thoroughly brainwashed British public. He used his office to wage war against Dr. Mossadegh.
See, he used his office to wage war against Mossadegh. All right? Go ahead.
And the Iranian people through highwaymen and pirate tactics, as the following examples show. The Rose Marie, which sailed in international waters carrying Iranian oil, was not in breach of any international laws or treaties when it was ordered by Churchill to be intercepted by the Royal Air Force.
And that's what they do. Okay? They will hijack you and seize your vessel, okay, and come up with a justification for anything. Just like in the Vietnam War, they used the Gulf of Tonkin, and they said that the Vietnamese attacked them, but it wasn't the Vietnamese. They did that as a staging ground to go into Vietnam to start the war in Vietnam. And just like they're going to use a staging ground in the Middle East, all right, because they took soldiers, American soldiers, over there in Israel. And that's going to be used as a cannon fodder to say we have to support Israel and destroy Iran, which have nuclear weapons. Okay? So they're building up the whole theater of propaganda for their justification. And they know that the American people are so gullible and brainwashed. But not only that, it proves how hateful a lot of these American people are. It's that hate that they have for anybody that's not of their white skin. It's mainly based on hatred. Okay? That's what it is. Now you have a few American people that object to what's going on because they see what it really is. But the masses, they're going along with the crap. Mainly the right-wing Republican Party. These devils and the evangelicals, churches, the right wing, they're supporting what's going on. They want this to go down. Okay? But they're going to be in for a rude awakening too. Okay? Go ahead.
And was forced to sail for Aden, a port under British control. The hijacking of a ship at sea had the full backing of the U.S. State Department at the Rockefeller family's suggestion. My source in London, whose job it is to monitor the oil industry, told me in 1970 that Churchill was restrained by his cabinet only with difficulty from ordering the RAF to bomb the Rose Marie.
See, he ordered the British RAF, the British Royal Air Force, to bomb the Iranian ship. Okay, go ahead.
A year passed in which Iran suffered great financial losses. In 1953, Dr. Mossadegh wrote to President D. Eisenhower asking for help.
See, so Iran wrote to Eisenhower, the president, and asked him for help concerning what the British was doing. That's the worst thing he could ever did. How are you going to write to the same people that's supporting the British? All right? So he had to learn the hard way. You can't trust none of these devils. They're all snakes. All right? Go ahead.
He might as well have written to Rockefeller.
Right? The same people, ain't no different. They're going to back the British. The British going to support them. You think Eisenhower is going to go against the British? No. Okay, go ahead.
Eisenhower, playing a game of nerves, did not respond.
He didn't respond. He played games with him. That's what they do. You understand? Go ahead.
The tactic had the desired effect of frightening Mossadegh. Finally, Eisenhower did reply, and in the classic style of diplomacy by deception, advised the Iranian leader to abide by Iran's international obligations.
See what he said? Listen, abide by the Iranian obligations. So he said, listen, go ahead and go along with what you decided and what you planned out in the beginning, which was an unfair policy. drafted by the British. Okay, so show you how unjust they are and evil they are, man. Okay, go ahead.
Mazadek continued to defy both the British and American governments.
So he continued to defy them because it was his right. Continue.
The oil companies sent a deputation to see Eisenhower to ask that immediate measures be taken to remove Mazadek. Kermit Roosevelt, who headed the CIA's covert operation against Mazadek, worked tirelessly to establish forces inside Tehran that could be used to cause unrest.
See, so the CIA was using covert activity in Iran, okay, non-stop, okay, and that's why eventually in 1979 you had the Iranian uprising, and the Shah of Iran had to get the hell out, and the students took over, all right, and they held American hostage, and then from that point Iran said, you can't come nowhere in our country. You can't come around us. We don't want you nowhere. And the Ayatollah Khomeini came into power. And he said, you're the great Satan. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They were letting us go.
Yeah. Right. Because Khomeini said, we have no problem with you. You understand? Ayatollah Khomeini said, we have no problem with you. And then eventually, who did they send over there? Jesse Jackson. And Jesse Jackson won the thing. Jesse Jackson went over there and talked to them, and they said, okay, we'll let the hostages go. And what's his name? Reagan trying to take the damn credit. Reagan. Because he was the president. So Jesse went over there and talked to the Ayatollah and made agreements and everything, and then they allowed the hostages to go free. You understand? But it wasn't Reagan, but they gave the credit to Reagan so he could win. No, I think Reagan was about to come into office to run for office against Jimmy Carter. So they blackballed and put a bad name on Jimmy Carter and said Reagan was a hero. All right? And these devils are something else, man. They have a lot to pay for, man. Go ahead.
Large sums of money, said by my source to have amounted to $3 million, changed hands. In April of 1953, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, under intense pressure.
So that's when the country was changed to Iran. The name was changed under him, Shah Pahlavi. All right? Go ahead.
Under intense pressure from the international bankers, tried to dismiss Dr. Mazouda, but the attempt failed. The CIA and MI6 equipped army of agents started to attack the military. Fearing assassination, the Shah fled and Mazouda was toppled in 1953.
See, the CIA and the MI6 toppled Iran government in 1953. But yet you're supposed to be a democratic society, right? But you toppling pure governments. And that's not the only country and government they topple. They topple governments in Central America, South America, all over Haiti, okay? And that's what they've been doing. America is an oppressor. America is not a liberator for nobody's freedom. They're an oppressor to continue their hegemony and control over your resources. Right? So they toppled Iran in 1953. Go ahead.
The cost to American taxpayers was almost $10 million.
All right, that's it. Okay, so now, we give you a basic understanding of why the whole target is to focus against Iran, to get rid of Iran. All right? But, like I said, this war is going to intensify. It's not going to stop here now. This is the home stretch. This is it. Okay? From here on, it's home stretch all the way, baby. Okay? It's no turning back now. It's nowhere you can put the genie back in the bottle. That genie is out and it's dancing. Okay, remember, I Dream of Genie? Dun, 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 dun. When the genie came out the bottle, that genie is out the bottle now. Okay? And notice when that genie looked like a genie, what did it look like? Like an Arab, right? Like an Arab coming out of the bottle, right? An Arab woman dancing, all right? A genie represent an Arab, okay, or a Persian person, okay? So now the genie is out the bottle and it's no stopping it now. Now it's gonna spread now. It's just a matter of time, okay? And when they start that bombing campaign in Hezbollah, it's on. And you from there, it's gonna go to Iran. And once they attack Iran, it's on. Russia is stepping in. Russia is gonna step in because Russia is gonna back and support all of these nations. Okay? So that's a chess piece and a chess move that the Most High is making using Russia and the Arab and the Muslim world. It's putting a balance to it because America is a superpower. And guess what? And while this is going to go on too, you better believe China is going to take Taiwan. He's going to take Taiwan. That's where all the technology for the chip components are. All right? And he's going to take it. Well, first of all, Taiwan is his. It's the same people. It's the United States that made that crap. Taiwan and China are different. Taiwan belongs to China. They speak the same language. All right? Yes. Oh, North Korea is coming in handy too. With Russia. Okay? And China too. All right? When you look at it, North Koreans are nothing but Chinese. That's all they are. That's all they are. It's amazing, man. But that's what Esau did. He splits up nation and called different nations. You know? But to your surprise, you know who has the most submarines in the world? Guess who has the most submarines in the world? I just mentioned the name. North Korea. North Korea has the most submarines in the world. Imagine that. They surpass America in submarines. They're number one in submarines. Then number two is the United States. No, number two is China, then the United States, then Russia. Naval vessels, ships, yeah. Yeah, because China and North Korea are the largest shipbuilders in the world. Then Japan. Then China, they just nonstop. Like every week they putting out battleships and ships, man, round the clock. You know? But North Korea has more submarines than the United States. I was shocked. I was like, damn, how the hell the United States been around as a superpower longer than North Korea, and North Korea surpassed them, man. That shows you, man, that while America is doing their crap, the other nations were secretly doing their thing on their side, man. And that shows you, like the scripture said, when the Most High said, let the weak say I'm strong. The weak represents those other nations that are not superpowers. Because they're going to be dragged down into that war too. All right? Because China, remember, doesn't produce oil neither. China gets lots of their oil from where? Russia and Iran. Russia and Iran. Iran exports a lot of oil to China. All right? And Russia gives them a lot of oil too. So that's why China wanted to build a pipeline through that area to get easier access instead of using the ship to go around. Right? So it's a vital strategic part, what they call geopolitics. That's the final outcome of what's going to take place in that area. Geopolitical warfare for the control of the resources and who could have the upper hand to control those resources. All right? America wants to control that too. Okay? But they're surrounded by all the Arab nations. Okay? So that's where the Most High is going to have a field day with them, man. Okay? The Most High, he's such a strategic tactician, the way he's going to drag them down into that valley, like he said. He's going to drag them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? And he's going to plead with them there, man. Okay? Because it's all about strategic national resources. Yes. Plead? Oh, I mean judge. Remember the Most High is a rapper. He's a poet. Most High love to put drama on his words too, just like us when we put drama on our words too. So the Most High said, "Yo, I want to talk to you, man. Let me talk to you." So he used the word plead, meaning he's going to judge them. All right, but he put it in such a way like. That's what he seems like, but he's not going to beg them. The Most High ain't begging nobody. The Most High is going to drag you down there and he's going to body slam you. So he's using the word plead, you understand, in that poetic fashion. Right. You know what I mean? Like when you tell a person, yo, I want to see you, man. I want to see you. When you say I want to see you, that means I want to get it down with you. I don't really want to see you like that. I want to see you because I want to lay you down. You understand? So that's the way the Most High, and that's the way we are too. Right. All right? We speak in that hip talk, man. Right. All right? Okay? So go to Isaiah 34. All right? And then we're going to come back to Iran. Why they want to target Iran. Iran is a major threat to America's existence in that area. Okay? Saudi Arabia is a butt liquor. So, you understand? They do everything America says. Yeah. But let's see what happens. Okay? Now, Turkey is a major power in that area too. Turkey has great military and nuclear power. Okay? Pakistan. Don't sleep on Pakistan. That's a mighty power too. Okay? Pakistan has a mighty army too and nuclear power. Okay? So it's a big configuration of nations in there, man. It's a big explosive melting pot that's about to erupt in that area. Okay? And don't think America is not worried. They talk all that crap about, yeah, we're the mighty America, we could nuke you. But America doesn't want to lose their rulership and their power in the earth. Okay? Nobody wants to lose their power in the earth. Okay? Because once a nuclear weapon bomb goes off, it's a domino effect. Everybody's going to use their trigger. You say, what? Nobody going to stand by and say, well, you nuke me, I'm just say, okay, turn the other cheek. No. Everybody's going to set off their nuclear weapons. And it's going to be a nuclear war. Okay? Go to Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34 and 1. All right, Terry, kick it off.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein.
See, and that's how the Most High want to plead with the nations. He's going to let them know, then he's going to drag them down into that era, and then he's going to unleash his fury upon them. All right, go ahead.
The world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
See, the Most High's anger and his wrath is upon all nations. Okay, go ahead.
And his fury upon all their armies.
See, and his fury is upon all their armies, all the nations' army. Okay, go ahead.
He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
And how is he going to deliver them to the slaughter? In the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, go ahead.
Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
And the mountain is going to be melted with their blood. It's going to be a lot of dead bodies and blood. Okay? Go ahead.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
All the hosts of heaven is going to be dissolved. What's going to cause that? That nuclear destruction, that bomb. Okay? Go ahead.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
See? It's just like when they dropped the bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where they created that great mushroom cloud. That's the same thing that's going to happen again. So the prophet Isaiah is describing this vividly, what the Most High showed him. Go ahead.
And all their hosts shall fall down.
All their hosts is going to come down. Everything. Go ahead.
As the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
See, now listen. Now the Most High said all the nations, right? But when it gets to this point, he specifically singled out one particular group of people. Because this is the main one that he has the beef with. Understand? He said upon Idumea, which is the Edomites. Okay, go ahead.
And upon the people of my curse.
See, upon the people of his curse. Go ahead.
To judgment.
To judgment. Okay, go ahead.
The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
See, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Why Christians don't read this here? Why they don't stretch us and read this in the churches? They say, well, no, this is God saying this? They don't want to read this here. Okay, go ahead.
And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood.
See, and their land going to be soaked with blood. Because when they read this, they have to tell the people who are the Edomites. And then if you tell them who the Edomites are, everybody going like, oh, damn. So they have to keep this quiet. They can't, well, the Edomites are not here no more. But if that's the case, why does it say the Most High said his sword is going to come down upon Idumea? He's let you know this hasn't happened yet. Right. This is a future, this is yet to happen. Future prophecy. He said all the nations, but then he singled out one particular nation. Specifically that nation. Because that's who the Most High has a great beef with. Okay? Hold that and go to Ezekiel 36. And we're coming right back here. Ezekiel 36. And the reason why they don't want to read this, because this is why. Ezekiel 36. And 5. Yep.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy.
What is the fire of the Most High jealousy? The wrath and the destruction. Okay, go ahead.
Have I spoken against the residue of the heaven of the heathen?
Who's the residue of the heathen? We're gonna find out who's the residue of the heathen. Go ahead.
And against all Idumea.
Who?
All Idumea.
And against all Idumea, the Edomites. Okay, go ahead.
Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart.
Who's in the land? Who's in the land right now possessing the land of Israel? The Edomites. They are possessing the land. Read that verse again.
Verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession.
See what it says? Which have appointed my land into their possession. Meaning they have said, this is our land. We're the Jewish people. Claiming the land for themselves, talking about they're the Jewish people that have a right to go back to Israel in 1948. But you know what? You can stay there for now. Stay there for now. Okay? We don't want you to leave. Stay there for now. Because the Most High have a surprise for you. Go ahead.
Appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart.
When it says the joy of all their heart, what does that mean? When it said they have appointed the land with all the joy of their heart. Proud. And you can't tell them they're not the Jewish people. We're the Jewish people. We were in Egypt. We suffered. We suffered the Holocaust. We Yahudi, Ani Yahudi. You can't tell them they're not the Jewish people. So the Most High said they appointed the land with all the joy of their heart. They will swear up and down, we are the Jewish people. Okay? And we'll try to prove it. Speaking the Hebrew to you. Do you speak the Hebrew language? Yes, Yahweh.
All the promises.
Yeah.
Oh, that belongs to us.
Yes.
God gave us
to us.
This land belongs to us. God gave.
Yeah, that's why we was able to win the war of 67 and 73, the war of Yom Kippur. That's why we was able to fight off all 5 Arab nations against us. Yeah. They will tell you that BS. Yeah. But the Most High allowed you to go in there to fulfill prophecy to show that you are not the people and that you're imposters. Okay? And the Most High wants the whole world to see. And guess what? The whole world is watching now. The whole world is seeing, man, okay, what they're doing over in Palestine, man. Everybody is in protest marching around the world, man. Everybody is seeing this thing here. And they're saying, if you the Jewish people, and this what you're doing, everybody is watching. The Most High is making them look stink right now. Embarrassing. And wait till the Most High bring out the full extent of the prophecy to show that they are not the people of the Most High. Okay? Finish reading that.
With despiteful minds.
With despiteful minds, go ahead.
To cast it out for a prey.
And they've cast it out for a prey, saying this is ours, and we're going to hold on to it, we're going to fight for it. And if anybody try to stop us or come against us, we will use our nuclear option against them. Netanyahu. That devil Netanyahu. Okay? And first of all, Netanyahu is nothing but a damn Polish. He was born in Poland. A Polish damn so-called European imposter Jew. And his name was, I forget his Polish name was H.O.D.C or some crap. Then he changed his name to Benjamin Netanyahu. He changed his name because it was too much highlight that, wait a minute, you're European Jews. You're not native Jews of the land. Because the majority of them that came back into Israel in 1948 came from Germany, Poland, Austria, and Russia. Okay? A very few of them were what you call Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jews mean Jews that come from Spain. Very few of them are Sephardic. The majority of them are what you call Ashkenazi or Khazar Jews, which are Edomites. Okay, that live up in Europe. Okay, the Khazars are converted to Judaism. And they were up there in Europe for a long time until eventually they were brought back into the land in 1948. So they had to cover it up. Because people were saying, wait a minute, the Jews went to Europe? No. Everybody knew that the Jews went into Africa. Because Gamal Nasser said, how could the Jews leave Israel black and then come back white? That's why they kill him. He made that statement bold and loud and clear. Okay? So a lot of people know, but a lot of people is keeping it secret. Okay? Some of the Arab leaders know, they know, but they're part of the conspiracy to keep it quiet. Psalms 83. You understand? You'll be surprised what a lot of these nations know. And Putin probably knows too. Right? That Putin got Russian icons all over Russia. It's right there still. He haven't destroyed it. Yeah. Like I said, when Reagan and Nancy Reagan went to Russia back in the 80s, when they went there, Nancy Reagan saw all the Russian icons on the wall, and damn, her eyes nearly popped out her head when she saw that. She couldn't believe it. She was like amazed. She was pointing at the wall like, you know? Like she was probably saying, damn, there were niggas over here? There were niggas ruling over here, and this still up here on the wall? I'm saying, but why did the Russians then destroy? No, the Russians are not like the Americans. Right. Even though the Russians are evil, they're not like the Americans. They still have all of our records and icons still up there in Russia, still standing today. You could go in any Russian church today in Moscow, and you still see that they're standing today. Okay? But America, the whitewash and bleach it and destroy it. Yeah, Mike Allah. In Romania. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Czechoslovakia, in those areas. Yeah. Covered with icons. You understand? So a lot of them know, but they are part of that conspiracy to keep it quiet. Okay? I won't be surprised some of the Palestinians know too. Because they're being used as cannon fodder too. Yes.
Goes into a black one are the most valuable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the white ones, all the two.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Because I remember back in the late 80s when we were downtown teaching in Brooklyn. And we was teaching, and Yashuan was teaching. I was reading from Anabra. Yashuan had the Russian icons in the book showing. And he was showing the audience was mesmerized. They were shocked. They couldn't believe it. And a Russian lady came up, and she stopped. And then she smiled. And Yashuan said, "You know that?" And she stopped. She looked around. And she said, "I know that. We teach that in Russia." So Yashuan said, come back and say it again. She said, "We know that. We teach that in Russia." That's when we first heard, and we said, "Look at this here." Wow. She said, "We teach that. We know that. We teach that in Russia." And it happened that Yashuan just chose her because she stopped and she looked, and Yashuan said, "You know that?" And she smiled and she looked around. She said, "Yeah, we know that. We teach that in Russia." And when the audience heard that, they were like shocked, like couldn't believe it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. You'd be surprised in Russia, man. They know a lot of the history, man. Okay? They know more of the history than a lot of these people over here. Because we left the icons on the records over there, man. Okay? Even in Italy, in Rome, in the catacombs. When my sister went to Rome on a class trip in '79, when she went there, they went down to the catacombs. And she forgot to bring her camera. Forgot to bring her camera, man. And when they went down to the catacombs, because they had white students over with them too. So when they were in the catacomb, and they had this, the tour guide was a German, a German tour guide. So when the white girls saw all the images with the black faces, with the braids and the afros on the wall, she was so perplexed. She was like constantly asking them, "Why are there black people on the wall?" She was amazed at that. "Why is there black people on the wall?" So the German tour guide, he didn't want to answer. He tried to like keep downplaying. Then she keep pressuring him. And he said, Those were the ancient Christians. Who were the ancient Christians? The Israelites. So he was pushed to the point he had, those were the ancient Christians. But the white girl was pressing him. She couldn't believe it. She was amazed. And my sister said she saw it, and when she saw it, she couldn't believe it neither. But she didn't have her camera. And when she told me that, I never forgot that, man. You could have seen the depiction of it with the afros, the braids, in the catacombs of Rome. In no way you could deny that when you see it, man. Okay? Because you know we love to do graffiti. That's our thing. Draw images, and we drew ourselves in the walls in the catacombs. The catacombs are underground burial grounds, man, where we hid ourselves from the persecution of the Roman Empire. And we was living underground, man. Okay? We drew and left those pictures of ourselves, man. When she told me that, I was like, I never forgot that, man. I was back in 1979. We went to a class trip to Rome. All right? So the records and all the facts are right there, man. But some people are ignorant to it because of the miseducation of the Western European Eurocentric doctrine that have engulfed the earth. And that needs to be destroyed. It needs to be eradicated. All right? So you finished reading Ezekiel 36, right?
Yeah.
All right, go back to Ezekiel 34. Isaiah 34.
Can you read it from 8?
Yeah, read 7 again.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 7. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance.
See, it is the day of the Most High's vengeance. That's how he's going to plead with them. It's his vengeance. Okay? And the Most High is going to destroy America, those imposter Jews, and all the nations around there too. A lot of the Arab nations too. Russia is going to be destroyed over there too. All the nations' army is going to be destroyed over there. Okay, go ahead.
In the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
See, what is the controversy of Zion? What is the controversy of Zion? Who are the real children of Israel? Who? That's the controversy. The Most High is going to prove and to show who are the real children of Israel. That's the controversy of Zion, because it's a big controversy. If we're saying we're Israelites and they're saying they're Israelites, then who are the real Israelites? So the Most High have to prove who are the real Israelites. And that day will the real Israelites stand up. And we're going to stand up because the Most High said we're going to stand with great boldness in that day. Okay? We're going to stand with great boldness in that day against those that afflicted us and oppress us. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch.
See? The streams is going to be turned to pitch. What are the streams? All the waters of rivers and lakes going to be turned to pitch. You know what's pitch? Like tar, like oil. Okay? From all that destruction. Okay? Go ahead.
And the dust thereof into brimstone.
Check that out. The Most High is giving a vivid description. And the dust, like brimstone. You go to Sodom and Gomorrah, and you see that destruction, and you go and you could just touch it, and it comes loose, and it's nothing but brimstone. And you could put a match to it, and it will light. From the destruction the Most High put on it, that's what it's going to be like. The dust going to turn to brimstone. Okay? And the Most High left Sodom and Gomorrah as an example of what he's going to do to America. A prime example. Okay? Go ahead.
And the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
See, it's going to become a burning pitch. It's going to be burning for a long time. And you know, when you burn oil or pitch, it burns for a long time. Okay? Example of that is when in the Gulf War, when they was burning the oil fields, it burned for a long time. Okay? And this place is going to be turned into a pitch, man. Okay? Go ahead.
It shall not be quenched night nor day.
See, it's going to be burned for a long time. To quench me, to be put out. Okay? Go ahead.
The smoke thereof shall go up forever.
Means it's going to go up for a long time. The smoke of a burning, like it said in Revelation, and the nation is going to see the smoke of a burning standing afar off. They're going to see the smoke of this baby, man. Okay? Go ahead.
From generation to generation shall lie waste.
It shall lie waste. This is going to be a monument. A desolate waste monument. There ain't nobody going to live over here. No, but creatures only. Wild beasts. Most likely going to leave it for an example. Okay? Go ahead.
None shall pass through it forever and ever.
Go ahead.
But the cormorant, the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it.
Right? All these different beasts and birds going to dwell in it. Okay? Go ahead.
And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom.
Right. So Esau is going to call his nobles. Okay, he's going to be calling his nobles. Oh, can we come out? Is it okay? No, baby. It's over. It's over. Read that verse again.
Verse 12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there.
Nobody's going to be there. Okay? Go ahead.
And all her princes shall be nothing.
And all her leaders and rulers shall be nothing. Okay? Go ahead.
And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. And it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls.
See? Lizards, wild beasts. Okay? Go ahead.
The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island.
See? All kind of wild beasts is going to dwell over here when this space is done. Okay? Go ahead.
And the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the greater owl make her nest, and lay, and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, everyone with her mate.
And why is the vultures going to be there? To eat some carcasses, man. They got to eat, man. They need some food. Okay, go ahead.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, and read. No one of these shall fail.
See, no one of these prophecies shall fail. None. Okay, go ahead.
None shall want her mate.
None could mate to what the Most High said in this book. No book, nothing outside of the Bible could mate to what the Most High said. The Quran, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Sanskrit, and none of these books could mate and match the Bible. Go ahead.
For my mouth it hath commanded.
The Most High said his mouth has commanded because he put it in the spirit of the prophets to write it down. Go ahead.
And his spirit it hath gathered them.
And the Most High Spirit have gathered these words to put it in the spirit in the mouth of the prophets to write these things down. Go ahead.
And he cast a lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
Okay, now go to Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38. Why Russia is going to back Iran. Right? Ezekiel 38 and 1. So Russia is going to be that strong support and ally to Iran. Okay? Not so much that Russia has anything in common with Iran, because they're two different people. But the Most High is using that as a balance, as a checkmate against the opposing side. All right? Against NATO and the other European powers along with America. Okay? But it's going to be a sad day for this country, man. Okay? Because a lot of countries eventually is going to turn against this whore. They're going to turn against this whore, man. What they're doing now, they might have the big hooray and the last laugh. But in the end of this thing, man, it's not going to be beautiful, man. A lot of nations going to turn against this whore. Okay? And you know you like a whore because you want to continue buying from her. The price is good. How much? Okay, I'll pay for it. But eventually in that day, everybody said, no, I don't want no more with that whore. They're going to torch that whore, man. The price is no good no more. All right? The price is not good. Nothing is good no more. It's all used up. All right? And that's going to happen. The Most High, but the Most High is so good how we put words in such a poetic way, man. And when you read it, you got to say, damn, the Most High is something else, man. Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's go to Revelation 17. All right? The Most High is so good how we put words, man. Right, Revelation 17, right? Let's go, Revelation 17.
Verse 1.
We're going to start here from the 15th verse.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest.
See, the waters, the people that you saw, the nation that you saw, go ahead.
Where the whore sitteth.
Where the whore sitteth. Hear the Most High say, where the whore is sitting. She's sitting up there like, yeah, pompous, proud. Okay, where the whore sitteth, go ahead.
Are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast.
See, the 10 horns represents the EU, all right, NATO, and all these different countries. Okay, go ahead.
These shall hate the whore.
It said, these shall hate the whore. They're going to hate this whore, man. And the Most High going to put that perfect hatred in them too, man. Okay, go ahead.
And shall make her desolate.
And shall make her desolate. How do you make somebody desolate? You strip them. You sort of take away from the economy. Okay, go ahead.
And naked.
And naked. You take away what rightfully belongs to them. You expose them. Okay, go ahead.
And shall eat her flesh.
And eat her flesh. Okay? It's not talking about literally going to eat her flesh. I'm hungry. No, it's not talking about that. Eat her flesh means they're going to eat up her resources, her economy, her wealth, her money. They're going to pimp her like Ukraine is doing. Okay? Go ahead.
And burn her with fire.
And then they're going to burn her with fire. After they finish using her up, they're going to burn her with fire. Okay? Because Ukraine is pimping America. They're pimping America big time. Okay? And Israel too. Israel is pimping America big time. And they know they could play and use America anytime. Anytime. They even caught Netanyahu in a speech saying, yeah, America is like a puppet. We tell them what we want and we get it. We could use them. And that's what he's doing. He's using them big time and robbing them. And wait till the American people find out they've been duped and used and pimped and bamboozled. Boy, your politicians, man, I hope they could run fast, man. I hope they could run and hide, because when the American people find out they've been used all this time, they're going to be mad. Because remember, when the British was over here, what was the British doing to the so-called Americans who were British? They were overtaxing them, right? They was taxing them so much that they got tired of it. The British wasn't really oppressing them and doing like what Israel doing to the Palestinians. The British was only overtaxing them, and they was crying just for that. We paying all that money. So imagine now when they find out that Israel was just pimping and using them, and the politicians went along with it. What's going to happen? They're going to turn against their leaders. Yes. Everybody. Yes, and still do it. But eventually, the Most High is going to pull out He's going to pull out that rug from under their feet. And the American people is going to see it like, damn, you've been playing us, man. And you know, they're going to be mad, man, because when a people really get mad at their government, they go in against their government. And the worst type of revolution is what type of revolution? Is it an external revolution or internal revolution? An eternal revolution is the worst revolution you could deal with. Okay? When your own people go against you, that's it. It's over. Okay? And that's going to happen. Yes. Overthrow the government when it become a dictatorship or oppressive. Right. You understand? And that's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. Hold that. We finish reading this here? It shall burn the whore. Let's finish reading this here before I lose my train of thought. And then we're going to go back to where we was in Ezekiel 39. All right? Ezekiel 30. Finish reading that.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
See? Who's doing this? The Most High. Okay, go ahead.
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigned over the kings of the earth.
Okay. So hold Ezekiel 38 and go to 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Yep, in the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. And we'll start here to start from the 18th verse.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 18. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
See? And how is the Most High visiting the people that dwell upon the earth? With his judgments. Okay, go ahead.
And will begin to make inquisition of them. Would they be that have hurt unjustly?
See? That have hurt unjustly. Who have hurt unjustly? This beast. This European. They have hurt unjustly all the people of the earth, but mainly us. All right, go ahead.
With their unrighteousness.
With their unrighteousness. Go ahead.
And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
See? Check it out. And when shall the affliction of Zion be fulfilled? Read again. Read that part again. And when?
Oh, verse 19?
Yeah, read the ending part of 19.
And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
When shall the affliction of Zion be fulfilled? When was it fulfilled? Oh, that's not talking about the so-called Jew. It's being fulfilled over here when we finish our 400-year prison term. When we complete that 400-year prison term, now the Most High is going to bring the judgment. All right? Well, I won't say it because people are going to say, Banyaman putting a date on it. You know what I mean? And you know how people think already. They're going to say, Banyaman putting a date. And the Most High said, nobody knows the date. You understand? You know what I mean? They're going to say, here we go again now. You understand? Right? So, our 400 years is up. Okay? Now is the judgment coming. Okay? Go ahead.
And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I shew these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament.
Is the books open now? Yes. The books is open now. The prophecies are being opened now. Okay, go ahead.
And they shall see all together.
And we shall see all together. We're seeing it now. Okay? What's been hidden over 100 years ago, now we're seeing it now coming to pass. It's being unveiled. Okay, go ahead.
And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices.
That's prophecy. You got children a year old starting to speak now. Okay, go ahead.
The woman with child shall bring forth all untimely children.
Premature babies. All right, go ahead.
Of 3 or 4 months old.
Or 3 or 4 months old. Ain't that happening now? Premature babies born 3 and 4 months old. All right, and still living and go up to be strong. Okay, go ahead.
And they shall live and be raised up.
See, and they shall live and be raised up. All right, go ahead.
And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
And what are the full storehouses? Supermarkets. Okay, Walmarts, Kmarts, BJ's, Targets. Okay, all these full storehouses, right? Go ahead.
And the trumpet shall give a sound.
No, read 22 again.
And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
It's suddenly going to be found empty. Okay? Okay, for the famine, it's coming. All right, go ahead.
And the trumpet shall give a sound.
And what trumpet? What trumpet is going to give a sound? The trumpet that Esau uses, the signal, the national emergency signal. That's their trumpet sound they're going to sound. All right? But the Most High is going to blow his trumpet. But their trumpet is their national emergency signal. All right? So read that verse again.
Verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
Yeah, in that day, when them bombs are shut off, you're going to hear. This is not a test. This is an actual state of emergency. The United States of America is under attack. Okay? And it's gonna be a chaotic day, man. Okay? I don't care how much underground bunkers you have, man. I don't care where you are. When them things coming through, brother, you're gonna see it and you're gonna hear it whistling, baby. It's gonna be whistling coming through that ear. Okay? And them sirens gonna be going off, man. Okay? If you're in Manhattan, jump out those cars and run like hell. Because traffic is gonna be on a standstill in that day, man. Okay? It's gonna be a chaotic day in that day, man. And that day is coming. It's gonna come. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies.
See? Friends gonna fight like enemies, man. Okay? And that means the government, the people in the government is gonna be rising up against their leaders too. Because the Most High tells you they should not regard their kings or their leaders in authority, man. Go ahead.
And those
read 24 again.
Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies.
Right, friends will become enemies in that days, man. Okay, go ahead.
And the earth shall stand in fear.
See, and the earth is going to stand in fear. Go ahead.
With those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape to see my salvation and the end of your world.
The elect of the Most High that's going to make it. All right, go ahead.
And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth.
Mm-hmm.
And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning.
Mm-hmm.
For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Okay, now from there go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter now. Let me show you. All right, because the Most High says they're not going to regard their rulers and their kings. All right, go over here to read 2nd Ezra. Go over here and start from 15th verse. Actually, start from the 10th verse.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I would not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
See? What is that telling you? The Most High said, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Are we dwelling in Northeast Africa now? No, he's referring to this America as Egypt, a spiritual Egypt. All right, go ahead.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand.
See, but I will bring them with a mighty hand. Future. All right, go ahead.
And a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before.
Check that out. That's plain. You can't get around that. The Most High said, I will smite Egypt was plague as before. So I mean, it's a second time he's doing this. He smite the first Egypt. Now he's going to smite this Egypt with plagues. And the plagues is that destruction that's coming. All right, go ahead.
And will destroy all the land thereof.
See, and will destroy all the land thereof. Go ahead.
Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it.
See, that the Most High is going to bring upon it. Go ahead.
They that till the ground shall mourn.
Who's they that till the ground? The farmers. Right, go ahead.
For their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world, and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another.
And that's going to happen. All right, go ahead.
And swords in their hands.
And swords in their hand. What's the margin of their swords?
Guns.
AR-15. Okay, 8Ks. Okay? Heckle and Koch. All right? 45s, man. Semi-automatic, man. Long gun rifles, man. Sniper rifles, man. SKs, man. Listen, and these preppers and these different white militia group, they got a lot of ammo. One guy said he'd been storing this for 40 years. He said he got so much he could share with anybody that needs weapon. 40 years he's been stacking up and saving. Okay? So this thing is going to be a nasty thing. And when they hear there's Arabs in this country too, when they hear there's Iranians in this country too, because the Most High said their enemies are right within the gates of this country. The Most High said the gates of your land is wide open. Everybody is here. Okay? The melting pot. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men.
See, there's going to be sedition among men. Go ahead.
And invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
Who's their kings? The presidents, the governors, the mayors. They ain't going to listen to them. All right? Read that verse again.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
And what does that mean? When it said the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Whatever they seem fit and right to do, they're going to do it. Okay? If they say a politician got to go, he's going. And they're going to form that militia because January 6th proved that. January 6th was a prime example of that. And they said they had a lot of veterans and militiamen up in that place, man. Yeah. Men that knew about weapons and how to go to war was up in that White House, man. Okay? So that's just a taste of what's to come. And when they found out they've been used, lied, pimped, poured out, lied to, robbed of their 401k, because when this war intensify over there, you're going to get Biden come up and said, we have to support the war. Israel is our ally. We need you to sacrifice your 401k because the country's going to go bankrupt. That's what they're doing. They're bankrupting the country so they could bring in that CBDC. That's that central bank digital currency. Yes.
Yes, I heard it on the news.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring in the draft, and some white boys are going to be mad as hell. They're going to grab their guns. You're not going to sucker me like you did in Vietnam. I'm telling you, this thing is going to be nasty, man. Right? Because information, the Most High said, knowledge shall increase. Okay? And people are searching up and looking at things now, man. Ain't like before people just like sucking up what the media is saying. They're listening to the media, but they're weighing what the media is saying and checking out other sources. And it's one thing about white Americans. I have to give it to them. Even though they're a bunch of hateful, prideful, arrogant people, they do their homework. They do their research. I have to give them that. They check out things, man. They check things out. When they push to the edge, they check things out, man. All right? And they will make a diligent inquiry. Okay? Go ahead, finish reading that.
Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city.
See, a man's going to desire to go into a city. Go ahead.
And shall not be able.
And shall not be able. Go ahead.
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. And men shall be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
Yeah, his neighbor? Who? What? That's you, my neighbor? I don't care. I got to eat. My family got to eat. You got food in that basement. You understand? Listen. When hunger kicks in, everybody loses the rationale of being civilized. When your belly starts, and your children cry, I'm hungry. And you say, I ain't got no food. Desperation times comes in, man. Everybody becomes uncivilized then. Become beast mode. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the purge. Yeah, the purge. Yes. Want to do. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's right here. And they know it. They know it's going to come. Okay? Because when this country go bankrupt, and that's what they're doing. They're bankrupting the country. Billions and billions of dollars. And then, you know, when ammunition run out, you have to start making more ammo. Bombs. That takes money. Okay, because Russia was using up all their ammo and bombs that they had that were sitting there for years. They used that up. And they gave and America gave a lot of their weapons to Ukraine, all the old stuff. And keep the new stuff. So when all that old stuff runs out, you need that new weapons and bombs. And it takes money to keep the military industrial complex producing and making those weapons. And they're going to blood suck this country, man. Okay? I won't guarantee if they come back and say, because of this war, the country is bankrupt. Yeah. And you know, the federal government have the right to take your assets, your 401ks, your policies. They could dig into it because your money is not really your money. They could freeze your asset in the bank anytime. Yeah. You understand? And it's going to come, and I'm telling you, when that comes down to that, you're going to see Mad Max on the loose, man. I'm telling you, man. Mad Max is going to be out there, man. And Mad Max is not going to hold back. All right? All right? And they're going to go against their government, man. Okay? The Most High said, the heathen shall envy you, but there ain't nothing they could do against you, man. Okay? Because the Most High is going to protect those of us that stand in the path of the Most High. The Most High said he's going to protect and watch over you. The heathen shall envy you, but there ain't nothing they could do, man. Okay? All right? So continue reading that, and we go to Ezekiel 30, and we're going to close out.
Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword.
With their sword, they're going to bust in that door with that AR-15. Okay? Give me your food. I ain't got no food. Pap, pap, pap. I know some people prepping for a long time too, man. Yeah. And people watching you when they come in with your food from BJ's, they're watching, what? You see all those cases of food and stuff? You understand? So people watch, man. And you know, and you know you're a prepper and you ain't got no food. Hey, your man, they ain't got no food for no days. Can't grow no food. and you got food over there, you think he gonna stand still and say, can I have some of your food? Nah. It's gonna be hell, man. Okay, go ahead.
And spoil their goods.
And spoil their goods. Go ahead.
Because of the lack of bread.
Because of the lack of bread. No food. Okay, go ahead.
And for great tribulation.
And for great tribulation. Okay, great tribulation is coming upon this earth, but it's coming towards the enemy, the European powers, and our European enemies. Not so much merely upon us, but upon our enemies. Because this is our time of our deliverance. It's the time we're going to be delivered. And the Most High is bringing the judgment upon them. All right? So going back to Iran, let's go to Ezekiel 38. All right? Because Russia has gone back and support Iran in this fire analysis. So when America step up that game, it's on. Okay? And a lot of generals know that what America is dealing with is leading up to Armageddon. Okay? Listen to General McGregor. Okay? To Scott Ritter, a former Marine. They all see this is leading up to Armageddon. All right? Salenti, this guy named Salenti, Gerald Salenti, they all said it's building up to that. They see it. Okay? It's building up to Armageddon. And America talk all that talk, but don't think they're not scared. They're worried. Okay? Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38, and I read the first verse, and we're going to close out from here.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog.
Okay, so Gog and Magog were the sons of Japheth. Okay, now today you have the Russians that living in that land of Gog and Magog. Now today the Russians represent Gog and Magog, the true sons of Japheth that was living in that land. Okay, go ahead.
The chief prince of Meshech.
The chief prince of Meshech, all right, which represents Moscow. All right, Meshech was also some of the sons of Japheth. All right, go ahead.
And Tubal.
And Tubal, go ahead.
And prophesy against him.
And the Most High said, prophesy against them. So the Most High is going to use Russia as that balance to come against America. All right, go ahead.
And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee.
So the Most High is against them too, but he's going to use them for a purpose. Okay, go ahead.
O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech.
The chief prince of Meshech, go ahead.
And Tubal.
And these are all the areas up there in Russia and around that area. Okay, go ahead.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
So the Most High is turning them back from what they was following, democracy, and back to hardliner being Russians. Putin, go back to being who you are, that hardliner. Because Putin kicked out all them friggin' aristocrats and the oligarchs that was controlling his country. He said, get the hell out or I'm killing you. He got them out. Putin is a bad dude. And guess what? Putin means what he say and he does what he says. He doesn't joke around. Okay? If Putin said it's going to war, we're going to war today, you better believe you're going to war today. Understand? He's a serious dude. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
So in a spiritual sense, the Most High is turning them back. In a physical sense, it's like you put hooks in the jaws of a person, you pull them to steer them to your direction. So the Most High is putting a spiritual hook in Russia to guide them. He's guiding them to his position. He's directing them to what he wants them to do. All right? Go ahead.
And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor.
All sorts of armor they have. Missiles, bombs, everything. High-tech weapons, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields. Go ahead.
All of them handling swords.
All of them handling weapons. Okay, go ahead.
Persia.
See, the first on the list is Iran. That's the first ally, Iran. All right? Go ahead.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, which represents even some of those South Africans. Okay? Some of those people down there in Somalia. Okay? Eritrea. All right? the Sudan, okay, the Congo, Angola. Yes. No. Mm-mm. But Egypt is going to be joined with the Arab coalition eventually. But a lot of African nations are going to be joined with Russia. All right? A lot of African nations, man. I could see South Africa. I could see the Congo. I could see Angola. All right? I could see the Sudan. All right? Probably Zimbabwe too. All right? It's going to be joined with Russia in that day. Okay? Go ahead.
And Libya.
And Libya. Okay? This Libya, right? North Africa. Morocco, they're going to be joined with them too. Even Morocco is protesting against what they're doing too. Okay, go ahead.
With them, all of them, with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands.
And Gomer represents Turkey. Okay, Gomer represents Turkey. Okay, go ahead.
Gomer and all his bands. The house of
Togarmah, that's all up there in Russia and around Turkey and all that area. Okay, go ahead.
Of the north quarters.
Of the north quarters, go ahead.
And all his bands, and many people with thee.
And many people with them. Okay, so when that war intensifies, people is going to start to choose sides. And the reason why they're going to choose sides, because it boils down to the natural resources, which is a strategic thing that every nation needs, and it's that oil. Okay? India is going to eventually have to choose the side of Russia because they need that oil. India imports more oil than America. Why do I say that? India has a larger population than America. India is the largest democracy, not America. India is the second largest population on the earth. India is a big, big continent. And it's a growing economy. So they need that oil. And the oil that they're getting, 90% of it comes from Russia. So they can't go against Russia. So the more likely they have to go against America because Russia is a closer ally, neighbor to them that supplies them with oil. If they can't get no oil, they're in a jam. So eventually they're going to have to choose the side of Russia. They can't choose America's side. They can't choose. America is going to be on the losing side. You understand? So eventually everybody's going to choose side when this war intensifies. Right? Iran produced their own oil. Iraq produced their own oil. The Arabs, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Dubai, the Arab Emirates, they all produce their own oil. America has to get their oil imported. Israel have to get their oil imported. So you see what's going to happen. And then those big ships, those carriers out there, eventually have to be refueled. Where are they going to be refueled? See, you have to think about all those logistics. Eventually, it has to be refueled. Those planes, those bombers have to be refueled. Where do they have to refuel? That's why America has bases. They use those bases all around there. You understand? But if you're a war tactician, you'll know exactly what to do. If you're Iranian or this country, what would you do? You hit those bases. Some of it, but most of it come from Canada. From Canada. About 70% of American oil comes from Canada. That's the domestic oil. Right? But once you overseas, you have to get your oil from where? You have to get it from Saudi Arabia or Qatar or the Arab Emirates. All right? But eventually those nations are going to turn against America. So what's going to happen? America is going to be out there like a floating vessel with no fuel. You understand? So you see why it's a strategic point? Why nations going to choose side eventually when it intensifies? Because all Iran got to do is two things. Close off the Straits of Hormuz, and nobody gets no oil. And Russia could do the same too. Russia could say, nobody get no oil from me. You got to choose my side. You understand? Because America has to fuel those planes and those ships. Right? And remember, Israel imports their oil. So that's why it's a strategic global geopolitical decision. That's what it's boiling down to. Okay? And if you're a military tactician, you have to know these things. That's why it's pivotal for America to get their carriers and their ships in that area to hold on to the strategic positions. All right? But the Most High got a trap for them. Remember the Most High said they have dig a pit and they're going to fall into the pit that they have dug. Most High have laid a snare for them, a trap. Right? So we're going to end this segment here. All right? And I hope everybody got a little bit of understanding. The listening audience that's watching. Right? And Israel, all we have to do is stand in the paths of the Most High. Right? Stand in the counsel of the Most High. Repent. Hold fast. And just watch this great movie, this great theater go down. All right? And just give the Most High praise and thanks. Before go to Jeremiah, the 6th chapter. Jeremiah 6, where the Most High says, stand ye in the paths and ask for the old ways. That's all we have to do. Stand in the paths of the Most High and watch the Most High do his thing.
Jeremiah 6.
Jeremiah 6 and 16.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths.
And ask for the old paths, the ways that the Most High gave us, his law, statute, and commandments. Go ahead.
Where is the good way?
Where is the good way? That's the good way. Go ahead.
And walk therein.
And walk therein. Go ahead.
And ye shall find rest for your souls.
See? And ye shall find rest for your souls. Go ahead.
But they said, we will not walk therein.
See, but if you don't walk in these paths of the Most High set for us, it's going to be a stumbling block and destruction for us. Go ahead.
Also, I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. Therefore, hear, ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts.
And that evil that the Most High brought was the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar. All right? And what is the fruit of your thoughts? What is the fruit of your thoughts? He said, go ahead, and said, and I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts. All right? The fruits of your thoughts is your common sense, your basic common sense. All right? Go ahead.
Because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it.
So we don't want to reject the Most High laws and what he has for us. This is our shield and our protection and our defense in these last days. All right? Go ahead.
What proposed cometh.
That's it. All right? Okay. So let me leave one more note, one more scripture. Go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel 3 and 16.
Book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 16. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake.
The heaven and earth's going to shake because of the great destruction. Go ahead.
But the Lord will be the hope of his people.
See, but the Most High is going to be the hope of his people. Go ahead.
And the strength of the children of Israel.
And the strength of the children of Israel. So with that, I say hallelujah and all praises to the Most High. Kwame Asherallah.